blessings, and peace. This is Nova of Nova's Insights. Welcome back. And if this is your first time on the channel, first time seeing any of the videos, welcome. I'm so glad to have you here. So, with the full moon being in Gemini tonight, we're going to focus on our thoughts and conversations, communication. So really looking at wrapping up conversations and issues and situations that need to be wrapped up, and really dashing away thoughts that no longer serve us. So this transition, just this energy around letting go as we usher in a new moon, okay? Which will be coming very soon. But taking the time, going through the process of releasing what it is that we need to release, wrap up, or conclude. Okay, so if you don't already follow me on Instagram, please come check me out. It's Nova's Insights, spelled the same way you see down below, but with no space. Okay, you can visit the website as well. It's www.novasinsights.com. I hope that you had a great holiday. If you know me, then you know that I didn't necessarily celebrate Thanksgiving, but celebrated Indigenous Peoples Day, again past Columbus Day. So in October, and yes, again in November. Okay, just honoring the lives that have been taken by force due to colonialism and imperialism, and just speaking to that, speaking to the energy and the lives that have been shed here on this earth, in the U.S. in particular, holding space for that. Okay. So, we are here, we are now, we are present, and we are open to this gift. So if you haven't done a pick a card with me, here's how the process goes. You allow your own intuition to guide you to the pile that has the message for you. Again, this is for the collective, so not everything might resonate with you, but take what you need and then, move on. If you find it helpful, please leave a comment down below. It helps other people to come along and see reviews, see comments, and see how it could possibly help them as well. Please feel free to share the video with your loved ones. Like and subscribe already, even if you haven't watched the video through. I'd appreciate it. And make sure to hit the notification bell so you can be notified when future videos like these are released. Okay, so what you'll do is take a moment to clear your mind, take a few deep breaths, and you'll choose the pile that calls the strongest or loudest to you. You are more than welcome to choose 2 or more piles, yet I would really try to focus on just one, as that will be the pile with the main message for you. But you are welcome to watch all the messages for all the piles. The timestamps will be listed below. All right. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Go ahead and take some time to still yourself and choose your pile. And I will be right back. Pile 1. So, let's see. Oh, all right. So let's start off with these 2 cards. We have insecurity and gossip. So just from jump, we definitely see that you'll have to strengthen yourself, find ways to push past this insecurity, whatever has you feeling like you're not enough, or you're not good enough, or you're not capable or able to do whatever it is that you're being called to do, or show up in the way you're being called to show up. If you journal or if you do affirmations, great, let's focus those on you and your enoughness, right? But if you don't, sometimes people do certain things like journal in the morning or journal at night or throughout the day. Sometimes people write affirmations on the mirrors in the bathroom. So when they go into the bathroom every morning or every night, or whenever they go into the bathroom, they can see these statements that help to uplift them, help to instill these positive thoughts in their mind, in their psyche, so they can move forward in a way that's going to better benefit them and those around them as well, right? So gossip, if you've been engaging in gossip, that is definitely something we will need to wrap up, something that you will definitely need to put an end to, okay? This could be dealing with matters of the heart. These are my chakra cards, right? So if you're gossiping, really examine the reason why you're gossiping. You know, are you gossiping because you've been hurt? Are you gossiping because you feel as though somebody has wronged you? Are you gossiping because someone has disappointed you? Whatever the issue might be, go ahead and really examine it and see how you can push beyond that, because that's something you need to wrap up, especially using the energy of this full moon to transition on, okay? We need reflection often, and that's the beauty of these cycles of the moon. They remind us, like, okay, it's like a knock at the door, like, it's that time of the month to do this thing that we call reflection and wrap up. Just like when we have the new moon, you know, okay, where we focus our energies, where we are gonna put those to move forward. Okay, so let's see. Survival, self-control. Oh, well, these align pretty directly, huh? So the insecurity, survival. So perhaps the insecurity has to do with survival. Perhaps you're feeling as though you don't have the things that you need. It may not be as personally focused on you and your abilities and what you bring to the table or not bring to the table. For some of you, it might be actually like things that you have and or possess, or you feel as though you should possess in order to live a comfortable life, right? So that might be around money, being able to pay bills, or being able to put food on your table, or keep a roof over your head, you know. Perhaps the insecurity is dealing with that. And here it will just, as you see here, it says healer guides, you know, really take some time to really think about how you perceive this higher being, right? I think that this can be helpful at times, to really think about however you perceive this greater, higher authority in our lives, the one that creates, the one that, you know, moves behind the curtains, and see how the creator provides, you know. Or maybe you've been in situations before where you felt like, oh man, how am I going to make it? And then there was a ram in the bush, right? And those of you who are not familiar with the term ram in the bush, it just means like sometimes or somehow a way is made out of no way. So I invite you, if you're in a similar position, just to continue to have faith and know that a way will be made for you as it's been made in the past. Or if this is your first time experiencing something like this, just hold on. You know, I offer you those words that hopefully comfort you, and I trust that you will see your way through, okay? So self-control, definitely. With this gossip, exercise some self-control, okay? And what I'm also getting with this survival card, you could possibly be in a position that you're in, not necessarily having what you think you should have, because maybe you haven't been exercising self-control in certain areas of your life. For instance, you know, sometimes people put themselves in situations where they don't have enough money to pay the debts off that they have because they've spent money on splurging on clothes, or splurging on video games, or splurging on food, you know, going out their way buying things for people that they shouldn't be buying, you know, trying to make themselves look good or make them appear that they have it when they don't. Sometimes people are trying to keep up with the Joneses, and that puts them in a position where they're sacrificing, they're jeopardizing the things and the resources that they need in order to be able to survive and meet the basic needs, right? That could also play along in that insecurity. Again, if you're trying to keep up with what you see people doing with your neighbor, with your coworker, with those people on Instagram, you're going to fall in a not so great space, whether that's in terms of your resources or just in a mental space that's not going to serve you. So that's something we definitely need to usher out with this full moon as well. Okay. Okay. So we have the 8th house, endings and beginnings. So here we are, right? Clearly, we are thinking about what we need to end. And of course, with every ending is a beginning. And with every beginning is an ending. I say that all the time, right? And the paradox, what are some of the paradoxes in your life? All right? And realizing with some of the paradoxes, we don't always have the ability, or we're not always in the position to end some of these things that appear to be paradoxes, right? But we just have to try to do our best to push through them, right? It's like a balancing act. Also what we see with this card here, the endings and beginnings, these paradoxes, really trying to use our third eye to see beyond, right? To see what the greater situation is, what the greater message is, right? So we can kind of sacrifice, remove that ego that makes us feel like perhaps we're stuck, that makes us feel like this is so troubling, I can't figure it out, it's so complex, right? Trying to find ourselves in the middle of that spectrum, balanced, in harmony with life, with the ebbs and flows. Everything is not meant to be known, in the sense that your mind is meant to process, right? It's meant to think, but not necessarily know everything. If you knew everything, I don't think we would be here on this earth, right? We're learning and growing every day. So for some reason, this just came to me. If for some reason you think or feel as though you are supposed to know everything, you're supposed to be able to figure everything out, set that down. That can get extremely heavy. That can be very weighing. Take a deep breath and know that you don't have to have everything figured out. It's okay. Just leave yourself open to the mystery of life, and you'll be amazed at the surprises you will experience, right? You'll be open to the beauty of life. All right. Ooh. A lot of skull action here. Of course, this deck right here, because this is my Santa Muerte deck, we have the skull here, skull here. Oh, interesting. All right, so we have the Chariot and then the Grim Reaper. It says the relationship is over, no second chances, grow and transform your life. So any of those, of course, can apply to just the overall energy. But again, this is definitely that energy of the full moon, wrapping things up, okay? Grow and transform your life. No second chances. The relationship is over. So I always say, I pull and read the cards, I interpret them, and you apply them as you see fit. I think that's pretty straightforward with the Grim Reaper. The Chariot. So the Chariot is all about moving forward, picking up speed, being able to go ahead. And so these are the things that you definitely want to keep in mind in order to be able to move forward. I think this is, a good sign. Not that there's ever any bad signs per se, but a good sign to see in this reading. Just kind of that reassurance that you're going to be able to pick things up. You're going to be able to move forward and get things going. Just make sure that you take care of these things with the full moon. But this definitely is a sure sign that the ball's going to get rolling soon. Okay. And this last card, Love and Compassion. This pretty rose quartz card. So, Love and Compassion. I think definitely with this gossip card, again, when I was talking about this being related to your heart chakra, and then this card here saying the relationship is over. This kind of love energy, this rose quartz, love and compassion energy. With the gossip, make sure that you are really restoring the love in your heart, right? Removing that malice, okay? Or not speaking from a place you're not sure of, right? Speak in truth, and in speaking in truth and speak in love, right? We don't want to share information that we don't know is true, and or we don't want to share information that can be detrimental to others, because remember, you wouldn't want that done to you necessarily, okay? And then here, you could be ending a relationship, you know, and you have to remember that there's enough love in the earth that it will be replenished, you know. You will have someone else that will come into your life that will give in the way that they need to give, and you will be able to give to them in the way that you need to give. It'll be reciprocal. You won't lack, okay? And then the compassion. Continue to have compassion for yourself as you go through this process, right? The moon goes in phases, so we go through phases too, okay? With the insecurity, show yourself some compassion. Be grateful for where you are now. Love yourself where you are now, okay? Can never have too much love or too much compassion. All right, so that is your reading. I hope that it resonated with you. If it did, please leave a comment down below. We can chat a bit or just share. You know, if you were blessed, you know, I like to say blessed instead of blessed. Share below, and I would love to read it. Okay, if you don't already follow me, please come follow me on Instagram at Nova's Insights. Come visit the website, www.novasinsights.com. Subscribe, hit the notification bell. All right, peace and blessings. Pile 2. Trickery and recovery. Interesting. All right, so we have in our intention examining communication and thoughts and conversation, all these things that are related as we are having the full moon in Gemini, right? So here we have trickery and recovery. So from these cards, getting the sense that if you have been in any situation where you feel as though someone has taken advantage of you, someone has not been honest with you, or you have not been honest and forthcoming with other people in order to spin things in your favor, just know that the light will shine on that, okay? It may all come to light very soon, and if it does, I don't know how well you can be prepared for that, but I would not recommend adding lies on top of lies, right? We're always given the opportunity to peel away. You know, while you still have breath, you can peel away. You can undo damage that you've done sometimes, right? With asking for forgiveness or coming out and being honest and transparent, providing the clarity that's needed. But know that what is for you is for you, okay? And you don't ever have to resort to lying or trickery in order to obtain whatever it is that you need to obtain, or you want to obtain rather, okay? Recovery. So I'm really getting the sense that this is about you and not somebody doing something to you. You know, be honest. Be really honest to yourself. Be honest with other people in your lives, because when you lie to other people, you're really lying to yourself, unfortunately, whether you realize it or not. That's what it is in the long run. You know, I believe in the karma and karma banks. You know, I like to think of whatever action you do, just think about your own karma bank. That action is getting stored in your bank, you know, like a piggy bank or a credit union is what I'm saying, BANK, right? So if you go out here and you do something that you know you shouldn't do, or you're doing somebody some wrong, some ill intention, you are writing a check for yourself, a bad check, putting it in your karma bank. Nobody is worth that. Okay? Your health is not worth that. All right? This energy comes around, and you don't know how it can manifest in your life. You know, you don't want to let these things fester. So gift yourself the chance to recover, okay? But be proactive and think twice the next time before you say something, or before you do something, or before you try to be deceitful. You know, so let's work on shifting out of that energy. Work on getting out of the energy of being manipulative, okay? Not just with this full moon, but for the rest of your life. Okay, hopefully this will not be a recurring energy. We will never have to come back to this for you. All right? Okay. And if there's something that happened in your past that put you in this position to feel as though you needed to manipulate people or lie to people, a lot of times people do things because that's how they know how to survive. They do things that serve them or have served them in the past, so they move forward doing the same thing. Take time to stop and think about where and how did this begin? How did I fall into this habit of lying or tricking or deceiving, manipulating, you know? And then if you're willing, forgive that person for doing whatever they did to you that led you to that space. Or forgive yourself for making that choice to move this way throughout the world, okay? Remember, you're worth it. You're worth healthy choices, healthy decisions, clarity, peace of mind. You're worth that, okay? All right, death and loss. So interesting. Loss, opposite of recovery. I always just think it's interesting how some cards kind of get paired up, whether, vertical, horizontal, however. But anyway, so death and loss. Definitely taking some time to examine the things that we feel as though have died, or things that are dying, or examining. What's coming to me is re-examining how we perceive loss, right? Because sometimes we think we're losing something and it's detrimental to us or it's painful to us, but it's really for our highest good. Sometimes we lose things or people that we need to, even though we may not realize it in that moment. Okay, so it's really saying to me, almost like put a spin on how you perceive loss. Take some time. Really sit with this term, this concept. Okay, similar to death. Like I've shared before, typically with every ending is a new beginning. And with every new beginning, there's going to come an ending. That's just the way of life, the ebb and flow, the yin and the yang, right? And so when you can see life move in that kind of cycle, when you experience a new beginning or you experience death, it doesn't come as a surprise. You can just ride the wave of life, which makes things a lot more easy for you, okay? And other people in your life that you interact with. Okay. I have and patience. I love this. This turtle. This is actually my first time doing a reading with these cards. It's beautiful artwork. So, I have and patience. So, I think, again, I am here in this space of really think about what you have, and not take this perspective of lack. Not take this perspective of I don't have enough. Don't take the perspective of I don't have what I need. You will always have what you need because the Creator, the higher power, has access to all, right? Has enough intelligence, has all the intelligence, is the ultimate intelligence to be able to provide you with what you need and knows what you need, right? So I invite you, if you're in a space in your life and you're feeling like you don't have what you need, trust in the intelligence of the universe. Okay? Trust in the timing, which ties into this patience here. You might feel as though you should have something that you don't have, but it just might not be time for you to have it. It doesn't mean that it's not going to come, but maybe it's not meant for you to have it in this time. You know? So this is something that I even have to work on within myself. You know, when I feel as though like, oh, why do I have to do this? Or why am I here? Or, you know, not like the bigger picture of why am I here, but, you know, in whatever location I might be in, knowing that I'm there for a reason. You know, I'm doing whatever I'm doing for a reason, and trusting in the greater plan. You know, knowing that I might look back a month from now or a year from now and be like, oh, that's exactly why I had to be there at that time and do whatever I had to do, or meet whoever I had to meet, or encounter whatever I had to encounter. It all makes sense. So just having a little patience in the meantime. Okay. All right. So the Seven of Wands and the palm tree. So the Seven of Wands, that's that energy of kind of feel like you're in the middle of war or battle, right? So I invite you, especially kind of thinking about this trickery energy, okay? To think about the fact that you don't have to stay in this warring or warful type of mindset. I don't even know if warful is a word, but it is now because I just created it. If it wasn't, we are creators, right? So the creation in process. But this warlike mind, you know, there's a time and place for everything. And maybe that is your typical, like, defensive, typical, always on edge mode. And that doesn't always serve you, okay? We need to know how to be warriors, and we need to know how to be gardeners, right? One of my favorite quotes, I think it was from Bruce Lee. Actually, I won't even get into that. I'll save that for another time. But take from that, know when to be a gardener, know when to be a warrior, be prepared for both, be skilled with both. And just know that it doesn't always have to be your default to be in warrior mode, to be in fight mode, okay? You can loosen up a bit. You don't always have to be on the defense. And if you find that you are, really take some time to examine, why am I like this? You know, because that can get exhausting. And that can really create a lot of pain and sickness in the body. You know, really work to heal the heart. Do that work, okay? And here we have palm tree. It's a stability, security, permanence, growth, endurance, and flexibility. Okay, so that security, you know, we're talking about, you know, what has served you in the past. We need to move beyond that. We need to re-examine that, right? Because the trickery, the manipulation, the lies, they're not going to continue to serve and provide stability, or what you perceive to be as stability in your life, you know, especially when it's brought to your attention and it's like, okay, what are you going to do about it, right? When it's put in your conscience, you know, your consciousness, and what are you going to do? You know, you can't say you didn't know, you know. All right. So growth, endurance, flexibility. With this patience, a lot of times, you know, you have to be patient through the growth, through the growing pains. The endurance speaks for itself, you know, the patience, the flexibility. Got to be like water, be able to adapt and mold to whatever container you're placed in. I think Bruce Lee said that too, to be like water. This is a Bruce Lee energy kind of night. I won't even make the noises because, you know. But anyway, so take a moment to just thank Bruce Lee for the way you just flowing tonight, because I don't even know the last time I even said the name Bruce Lee. It has to have been years, but definitely coming through. Look at this. How funny is this? And then I've got this lady, she's clearly like of Asian descent. Wow. So it says red coral fruitfulness. Okay. So what's coming to me is, again, this I have, right? Like, cut out these weeds of malice. Cut out these weeds of deceit. You know, don't worry about the next person's garden. Tend to your own. Work on what you already have, because what is meant for you is meant for you, and you will have it. But really focus your energies and your intention and your attention on what's in front of you. You know, no longer give your mind to these things that are not healthy for you. No longer focus your mind on people that are not healthy for you, places, things, situations, right? Allow yourself to recover, allow yourself to heal, release with this full moon, and focus on what you do have, because you might see that you have way more than you realize that you have. Okay? And that would be such a lovely way to usher out this full moon with a heart of gratitude. Okay? All right. So this was the reading for pile number 2. Please like, share the video with someone you think it could help. Subscribe if you haven't. Please hit the notification bell so you can be notified when other readings like these are posted. And if you're not already following me on Instagram, please come follow me. It's Nova's Insights. Okay? Peace and blessings. Pile 3. Oh, wow. Rejection and guilt. Woo. All right. So, with this rejection and guilt and this Gemini full moon, take some silence here. Because I'm getting the sense that these cards are just speaking to you right now. I don't even have to say much. Silence just seemed right. All right. I'm not even going to speak on it. Y'all know I usually say what I have to say, but I don't even feel that I need to speak on those two. Okay? All right. Invention and judgment. Wow. It's been amazing how like these cards have just kind of been lining up tonight. So with invention, I'd say here, you know, if you've been getting rejected, don't focus on that. I always think about like Walt Disney, Michael Jordan, whoever else you can think of who had to be denied 10, 20, 50, hundreds of times, and then they just pop. They are famous. They are a superstar because they just kept pressing on. They persevered, and it just took that one time. And somebody finally gave them a deal, or somebody finally saw them and their talent and was like, I'm going to make you a star, right? So whatever you're working on, however you're expressing your creativity, please do not give up. People are going to reject you. That's okay. Not a problem, because everything in due time. If and when it's meant for your invention to take off, or whatever you're putting your creative efforts behind, it will. And remember that sometimes your creativity is just simply about expression. Sometimes we create things and express things artistically that might not ever lead us to any kind of public recognition or fame, but that's okay too, because we might just need to express something, and you never know who can be blessed by that expression, who will be inspired by that expression. You know, sometimes people come back years later and say, because of XYZ, I was able to do ABC, and it just will blow your mind like, I had no clue. I had no idea, right? So believe in your message, believe in your mission, believe in your passion, continue to invest in that, fuel it, don't give up on it. Keep the faith and the hope, okay? Judgment. So, with this being right underneath this guilt card, if you've been feeling guilty about something, you might really need to take the time, you know, to examine what you might have done and or said and or be thinking, right? With this Gemini moon, okay? And or if somebody has passed judgment on you that has left you feeling guilty, really examine what is behind this guilt, you know? And sometimes we make mistakes. Sometimes we do things that we shouldn't do. Sometimes we're not as transparent as we should be or as somebody might like us to be. Sometimes our actions and our words are misconstrued or misunderstood. That happens. And people will judge us for it. You know, sometimes we're in the limelight and we say or do things, or the eyes are on us and they misperceive what we're doing or saying. But sometimes we have to be the bigger person just to apologize, or sometimes we might feel as though we don't owe anybody explanation. But sometimes that really does soothe over a situation, you know. So with this, I'm hearing, you know, be the bigger person. You might not want to, or you might not like it, but it could very well be worth it in the end, you know, especially if you've been getting sleepless nights or having sleepless nights, you know. And I'm seeing children for some reason. Know that children are watching. People look up to us whether we know it or not. And, you know, I believe we all have this kind of role and mission to make the world a better place for the future. And so what else is coming to me is like, apologize, say sorry. Somebody might need to hear that. A child might need to see you do that, right? Because they're watching. And or a child might need to receive an apology from you. Please don't be too big that you can't apologize to a child, okay? Sometimes that's what makes you the superhero, whether you realize it or not. Or they look back years later and say, like, this is how I learned to be vulnerable. This is how I learned to be loving. This is how I learned to be humble. This is how I learned to ask for forgiveness because my mom did X, Y, Z. My uncle did X, Y, Z. My father did X, Y, Z. My grandma, you know, whoever you are to this child or younger person, this younger sibling, okay? Sometimes it takes us to show and pave the way. Play. I am. Yeah. Okay. I want to remind you to stand firm, be secure in who you are, even when you receive rejection. Okay. I think it is good sometimes when we find ourselves in situations where we examine who we are, you know, but not throw it all out just because somebody doesn't approve, you know. Stand firm in who you are. Re-examine yourself when it's time to re-examine yourself. Sometimes, you know, change direction if and when it's needed. But other than that, know that you're on your path. You are who you are, and you have manifested in this lifetime in the way that you have manifested for a very special and particular reason. So take comfort, stand firm in that. Do some loving on your root chakra. Okay? All right. And play. Yeah, this is kind of coming back to this guilt and judgment, telling me this softness again, you know. Don't be too hard with others, and don't be too hard on yourself. You know, you don't always have to be this strict, kind of fiery, boom, 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 line it up this way, it can only be this way or the highway type of person. Take a deep breath, relax, slow down, enjoy life, okay? And or don't be so focused on, you know, your work that you don't take time for you, that you don't take time for your friends, your family. Slow down. Set some intentional time, even if you have to schedule it in for yourself, to do what it is for you that needs to be done to maintain health, balance, harmony in your life. Okay? That work-life balance, some people call it work-life harmony. All right? All right. So here we have the Three of Wands. Okay. So the Three of Wands, is that energy of you have set your sails, you know the direction you want to go in. And again, this is kind of just giving me that energy of continue in the direction you're going in. Really have faith in the seeds that you've planted. Have faith in whatever you created, whatever this proposal is that you put forth. Whatever seed you're sowing into this new creation, this new invention, this new program, have faith in yourself. Have faith in the vision. Simple. Have faith in the vision. It wasn't put in you for no reason, okay? It has purpose. Here we have kicking it. In control, talented, driven, kicking bad habits, trying to score, team player, accomplishing goals. Okay? Yes. So, here again, trust that you are talented, right? Know that you are going to score. You're going to accomplish your goal. And get rid of whatever is standing in your way, making you feel as though that you won't. Okay? Remember that you don't always have to be in control either. To some extent we're in control, here and there. But thankfully, and I say this, if you didn't hear that in my voice, I am sincere when I say this. Thankfully, we're not in control of everything to the fullest extent, because again, like I was just saying in a previous pile, sometimes things unfold in a way that we could have never imagined. And that is so much more amazing, so much more better than what we have imagined in our own limited mind. Okay? From whatever place that we are currently or we were operating in when we were trying to imagine what would unfold. And the beauty of that is once you do start to free your mind and realize that things don't have to be pigeonholed to one particular way, or that you don't have to control everything, that kind of allows for really inadvertently a greater sense of control, because you are better controlling your mind and you are more open to the mysteries and the beauty of the universe, right? So it's almost like you have more control, realizing that you don't really have much control. It's like The Secret, right? And I don't say that in reference to the book or the movie because I haven't seen it and or read it. I do own the book though, so maybe I need to pick that up soon. But anyway, okay. We've got kicking it here. And I think, also it just kind of reminds me of this play, have a little fun. Okay, got this ball. Just kick it. Just cool out. All right. Ooh. Okay, Picasso Jasper is the stone or crystal, and it says nature. And what I'm getting here is take some time to maybe just play and release in nature. Take in some fresh air. Go to the beach. Take a walk. Plant a garden. Hang out with some creatures. If you have some pets, spend a little time with them. Sit under a tree. Grow some herbs in your home. Maybe you live somewhere it's cold. You can still get some herbs in your home. Do your best to get some nature, some more nature in your life, okay? All right. So that was the reading for pile 3. I hope some of that resonated with you. I trust that it did. Remember, you hold the pen to the script of your life, okay? So please share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you are not already following me on Instagram, please come follow. It's Nova's Insights, spelled the same way you see below, without the space. And you are welcome to come visit my website, www.novasinsights.com. Peace and blessings. Last but certainly not least is pile 4. Full moon in Gemini. Okay. So we have here impatience and service. So I think no matter when, where, how, why, And patience is never the order of the day. So that's definitely something we need to kick. Okay? Whether the full moon is in Gemini or the full moon is in Aries, whatever the full moon is in, impatience is something we need to kick. Now, in particular, with this being in Gemini, it could be, it might manifest in the way of you just let your thoughts run and run and run and run and run and run. Or something is not happening in the time that you think it should happen, so you start to think like, oh, should I do this? Should I do that? Did I not do this? Did I not do that? Should I go back and do this? It's okay. Take a breath, clear your mind, or if you think that things are not happening in the time you think they should happen, really work on that, okay? Trust the timing of the universe. And here we have service. I'm getting a sense that it just might not be time for you to be of service, or you have been giving a lot. Maybe you've been serving a lot, and maybe it's just time to step back and take some time for you. You have to have balance in your life, okay? It could also be, I'm getting a sense that you might be a person who gives a lot with your words. Maybe you speak a lot. Maybe you speak a lot for work, or maybe you're like heavily involved in your church or your synagogue or your temple, and you are constantly speaking and presenting. Maybe it's time for you just to step back some. That could look like maybe you allowing somebody else to step up to get some experience in that space, in that role. Or maybe you've just been trying to really push and harp on something that people are not ready for, and that's okay. Get in the sense that don't overexert yourself, don't exhaust yourself. They're saying like when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Just know that whatever message you're trying to give, whenever people are ready to receive it, they will. And I'm getting a sense, just kind of retreat a little right now. Don't tire yourself out. Okay. This could also be too impatience or frustration by really wanting people to get what it is that you're offering. Really understand like what you're trying to say to them, but now just might not be the time for whatever reason. Okay. Bravado and gifts. Okay. So, bravado. I kind of get that sense that, maybe now is not the time to move forward with all that energy. It might not be a question of I have to present myself in a certain way for people to know that I can do certain things, or that I'm here in a certain way. Make sure that you're not allowing ego to exhaust you. Not allowing ego to wear you out. And remember, you don't have to save everybody. You don't have to be everybody's superhero. Okay? Gifts. In the sense that maybe you just explore some other gifts. Explore some other ways that you can give to people that come beyond maybe your thoughts, your words, you verbally expressing these things. Maybe you can serve people with your hands somehow. Maybe you can serve people with your money, with your time. That doesn't always require you expressing your thoughts or you expressing yourself. For some reason, I'm just kind of getting the sense of that's tired right now. Okay? People might not want to hear it. And for some reason, you might not realize they might be burnt out on you. Or you might be burnt out and you don't even realize it because you haven't stopped to take that breath. Okay? So explore. You can still give, but maybe in different ways. Okay? So, messages and power. Right. So, with this bravado card, getting the sense here that again, like this sense of like status, and whatever kind of maybe institution you find yourself in, you don't have to exercise power in the way you're used to exercising power. Okay? Your messages don't have to come through in the way that you think they need to typically come through. Explore avenues. Explore other ways of getting work done, being effective, just as effective, but in different ways. And know that you trying something different won't make you appear as though you're less powerful or that you don't have as much power. You know, letting somebody else come in and lead doesn't make you weak. You know, sometimes we need leaders, we need followers, and sometimes we need to rotate. Sometimes we need to ask for help. Sometimes we don't really need help, but we need to be able to give other people opportunities. We need to be able to help create other leaders for the future, right? Because you're not going to be in power always. So you need to trust that whoever you're leaving the power to, whoever's hands you're putting in when times come, they will be capable because they've had the opportunity to exercise and make wise decisions while under your tutelage, right? Give them a chance to see what they can do so then you can guide them through that, versus when you're all gone, it's all said and done, you're no longer in a position of power, you know, you're no longer in a position to be present to guide them. Then what? Don't be a crutch, okay? Get out of their way and get out of your own way. All right, Knight of Cups and cool with whatever. Okay, so this Knight of Cups, you know, sometimes the Knight of Cups just has to slow down. Right? Sometimes it has to slow down. Sometimes we can work ourselves up and we're excited. You know, we want to share the message. We want to share the love. We want to share the guidance, you know. But sometimes we just have to do it in a more tempered way to make sure that we don't jeopardize the greater message. We don't sacrifice, okay, what really needs to come forward, what really needs to manifest. We have to be mindful of the approaches we take, you know, the who, what, where, when, how, and why. Really examine these things. Be critical, okay, in a constructive way. Take the time, use your intuition, use wisdom, okay? Don't jeopardize the goodness. Your intention is right. It's there. The love is there. But just be mindful of how you deliver things, okay? Cool with whatever. So this says being chill, trusting the process, making decisions, living in the now, casual or no commitment. Definitely this trusting the process, just letting go, relaxing a little bit, relinquishing some of this power, what we perceive to be power, right? Just being chill, just going with the flow, right? Living in the now, for sure. Don't be too headstrong or so focused on the future that you're not living in the now, okay? Or so concerned about others that you're not taking time to pour into yourself. Remember, you can't pour from an empty well. That analogy from being on the plane, they tell you to put your mask on before you put anybody else's on, because you can help way more people if you can breathe. You know, when you risk putting on someone else's mask, then, you know, a lot of times you end up without the oxygen, right? Because you didn't have enough time to secure your own. And then who can you help then? No one. Because you couldn't even help yourself. All right? And if you need that guidance, you need that help, ask. Okay? Look at this, rejuvenation. This is a gorgeous card. Can you see that? If this was a real makeup artist, I'd be like, please come. But period on. So rejuvenation, yeah. I think sometimes we just need to step away from situations, and we don't realize just stepping away, even in the smallest way, just allows for this refreshing, this new wind, you know. Even just kind of thinking almost to the extreme of, you know, sometimes when you hit rock bottom, there's nowhere to go but up, right? And a lot of times people are scared of endings, but endings allow for new beginnings, okay? So Allow for the rejuvenation. Sit down. Take it easy. Go a little bit slower. Okay? So life doesn't have to knock you down to make you slow down. Okay? Okay? Do you hear me? Do you feel me? Do you dig it? All right. So take the time that's needed. With this full moon, think about what you can release. Think about what you've been saying, what you've been thinking. Don't try to kill a dead horse. I don't know if you've ever heard that saying or not, right? Or beat a dead horse, rather. So there's no point in beating a dead horse, right? It's no point of feeling like you're talking to a wall. In due time, when it's meant for people to get the message that you are trying to give them, they will receive it, okay? Be mindful of your energy. I love you. Peace and blessings. Thank you so much for sharing this time and space. If you aren't already following me on Instagram, please follow. It's Nova's Insights, spelled the same way you see below, but with no spaces. Come check out the website, www.novasinsights.com, to learn about different reading options, to get a personal reading. And I look forward to our next time here together on this channel. All the best. Light and love.